Namaste. Oh, I am so glad to be with you again today. And I want to welcome all of our regular listeners and subscribers on YouTube. And if you are new to the show, I want to just especially extend a welcome to you. I am Gloria Grace, the Light Messenger, spiritual alignment coach, and women entrepreneurs hire me to help clear the inner blocks that are keeping you stuck so you can put yourself first for a change and live the life you want now, not years later, but now. And I am so excited to be bringing you a guest today who's no stranger to that. She is someone who has been on her own life journey of doing lots of stuff. And her name is Gloria Coppola, and she is a best-selling, award-winning author, soul purpose guide, and retreat host. And as I said, her journey has guided her to explore the higher options of one's path. And on her journey, she has been a holistic health practitioner, a healing arts teacher, a life coach, an accomplished award-winning educator. And I've also come to know her through some books, which we'll get into as well. But first up, I want to bring in the lovely Gloria and welcome you officially to Live, Love, Engage.
Well, hello, Gloria.
I know. I'm starting to move towards moving to Grace as opposed to Gloria. So maybe I'll let you be the soul Gloria after this. But for now,
It took me a lot of years to honor my name. So I think I'll own it at this point.
There you go. Yeah. Well, and it's taken me a long time to start honoring using the middle name, which I didn't use professionally until the last few years because it's reflective of my journey. But that's for another episode. I want to get back to you and your journey. So I do love to be able to ask our guests when they're on the show, what brought you to where you are today, and to share a little bit about what that journey has been like for you and why you do the stuff you're doing today.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And I
sure.
say that because every moment can change. Like I can have a plan, and if I'm attached to the plan and I don't pay attention to the soul purpose and the guidance, then things don't always go well. So I live in that place of that divine grace, that presence to guide me. And I've always been that way. My family did not understand me as a child because I was always kind of like that. They would tell me things as I was growing up, like, you need to settle down, you need to do this, you need to do that. And every time I tried, it just didn't work out. So I kind of did my own thing as a free spirit, and didn't turn out too bad. I got to explore a lot of different things in life, but it was confusing for many people. Not me, but many people who didn't understand, what do you do?
Oh, yes, I've been there. I've been there a little
I
bit.
bet.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned earlier that we connected through books before because I believe that, well, and actually it was when we started this podcast, as a matter of fact, you were producing what's the right terminology for it? Compilation or
I've done a few of the collaborative books. I've also helped people write their novels, and I have all my stuff from years ago too. So I
right.
think we did in fact meet with one of the last collaborative books, and then
Yeah.
recently there was another anthology. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I had a couple of your authors on the show at that time, and we didn't get you on for some reason. And I've been just amazed. There's so many things I want to talk to you about because there's so many things that are just amazes me about what you're doing. So just to give our audience a clue, I have seen this woman. She runs retreats in Italy, in Sedona. She has, as she just mentioned, she's written her own novels, and are winning awards, and she's been traveling to Europe. So I know what I'm going to ask you right now. So of all of the different things that you have done, and I don't want to ask this because it's like asking you to pick your favorite child. So, what are some of the things that I'll do it that way. What are some of the things that have been bringing you the most joy recently?
That's a really good question because I sat there and asked myself the other day with all the things I have done from owning a holistic center, a massage school, being a business manager, getting involved in the story development and publishing. I always love helping people. It really comes down to that. No matter what I do, I have this connection that always guides me in that way, Gloria, and it's unstoppable. So wherever the divine brings me, I find I'm always helping bring out the best in people.
Mm. Well, I think that's a lovely thing to do. And I'm going to ask you, why do you think that you've been able to do that? Because as you said, a lot of people are like, you know, why don't you settle down? Why can't you just stay to like one lane, shall we say? And yet you keep leaning into what spirit is guiding you to do. So what do you think is it about you that has allowed you to sort of put your faith essentially in that things are going to go well if I just pay attention to my these
Well,
these these intuitions and these hits to follow a different path.
you just said the key word, faith. I came in that way. As a little girl, I was always helping people, bringing kids back to the house to help them. My mother used to say to me, "Do you wear a sign on your back that says, 'Follow me home, I'll help you'?" So it was just something I believe that I came into this world with. I believe God has guided me in everything I do that way. And yeah, it looks different, but it's really all the same. So no matter whether I was training healing arts practitioners for decades, or doing life coaching, and then doing the story development coaching, whatever it is, there's always that element of how can I bring the best out in people. And whether, let's say, they're dealing with health issues, well, how can I bring the best out in them? Same thing with a story. I got the sun shining on me all of a sudden. I guess that light is a
I
sign.
guess so. I know. I noticed. It's like you've just gotten so bright
It
all of a
started to
sudden.
glow when I started talking about God, right?
Yeah.
But it really has been that way. I don't feel that it is just because of me. Like, it's not just because of my background, my education, my desires, and my love. I am literally often turned on a dime immediately, where I am guided. For example, the books. Okay. So you see that one up there with the pink. Okay. The first one that God told me, this is what you're going to do. And I'm like, what? I don't do this. Well, yes, I do. I help people. And so I pulled together 12 women really quick. They came in grace. And that book was written and published and went number one bestseller the first day in the print in 2.5 months. And in the meantime, I had to get help and learn how to do all this. And I'm really blessed, Gloria. God has given me the ability to not only have perspective from a different level, but also to have these gears working like a multitasker. And it just comes natural. So a lot of people say, how do you do it all? I don't know any other way.
um, it's probably I have a feeling you're a manifesting generator, maybe
I
if you
am.
are you? Yeah, see, I knew it.
I
I've been
am.
learning about human design recently, and that explains it, and I am too. So I share that same type of thing where I'm with you and being able
Yeah.
to manage different things. So let me ask you this: what's the biggest challenge that you've had to deal with in any of these different endeavors that you've been on?
Well, about 25 years ago this year, okay, I realized at a point in my life that I was juggling too many things, and I could do it easily, but I wasn't making time for me or
Mm.
you, you know? And so that was the year that I got married for the second time. And I had a holistic center. So I had my private practice. I was managing the center. I had employees. I had classes. I had my massage school. I mean, and I was a single mom raising two kids. So I had all of this going on, and I was doing really, really well, and everything was always expanding. But when I met my soulmate, he would come into the office sometimes and he would just look at me because he just wanted to say hello and give me a kiss. And I was like, zip, zip, zip. And he would take my hands and go like this, close my eyes and kiss me and ground me. And so when we decided to get married, we both made a vow for ourselves. And mine was to slow down and to make time for relationships, for people. He was addicted to OxyContin after 3 accidents, and his was to finally be drug free, even though he had tried. Unfortunately, 6 months after we got married, which will be 25 years this December, his mind snapped from different medications the doctors put him on, and he was missing for a week, and he did turn up dead. And so, it's not the way he planned to go drug free, and it surely wasn't the way I planned. So be careful how you ask for things. It wasn't the way I planned to slow down. And I was knocked on my gluteus maximus for a year in bed, depressed. And then I just decided, Gloria, I'm going to sell the house, get rid of the front. I got rid of everything. People thought I was
Mm.
nuts and lost my mind. And I did lose my mind. And
Okay.
that wasn't a bad thing. So I took 2 suitcases. 4 times in my life, I wanted to go to Hawaii, and 4 times I didn't get there. Well, I got there on the fifth time. I went
Mm.
for 1 month. I stayed 8 years. I slowed down. I would stop, and if someone was hitchhiking, I'd pick them up, and I'm going to the store, and 3 hours later, I'm still talking to them and having coffee. And I was guided impeccably on a healing journey that I never imagined. And that led me to studying with Kahuna, which eventually took me to Peru to study with shaman. And here we are. So, yeah, I have time now to do these things. Although people keep saying to me, you're always busy. They have no clue. I am not doing what I used to do.
Wow. Well, that's a wonderful lesson, I think, for people to take away. Well, two things. Number one, be careful what you wish for. My mother used
And
to tell me that.
how you wish for it,
And how
because we
you wish
both
for it.
got
Yeah.
our wish, we both got our
Yeah.
vow, just never, 6 months after we get married, like, this is the
Yeah.
upheaval. But you mentioned faith before, and when I was going through this healing process in Kauai, I went blind for 2 days.
Mm.
I did not panic. I'm not that type of person. I usually know there's a purpose to things, okay?
Right.
Which is why my company is called Powerful Potential and Purpose, right? And I was asking, what are you trying to get me to see?
Mm.
And
Mhm.
I saw a house fall apart. And if you do dream interpretation, whatever, your house is you. And
Mhm.
on the ground, there was 4 bricks, like in the cornerstone of a house, and each one had a word on it. It had a belief system. And I realized that some of them weren't mine. They were indoctrinations or things I was raised with. And so I would take the brick, and it was all kind of worn out, and I'd throw it away. And then I'd look at the next one and the next one. And there was only one that was really mine. And I realized no wonder everything fell apart. I wasn't living my purpose truly. Okay. And then I tuned in some more, and I was like, well, what is this strong core value that got me through multiple tragedies in my life? This was the one that really rocked my world, but multiple tragedies. And that's when I had this beautiful light come through me, and the word faith. And so that's why when you said that earlier, it was all based in that. And I trusted impeccably from that moment on. Not like people say, set a goal. I've got the goals for me. And so I might write certain things down, but honestly, I can be turned anywhere in a split second, and my life completely changed. And I'm going through that right now again, believe it or not.
Wow. So what's changing now? Uh, oh, okay. All right.
No,
It's
I'm
a
only
secret.
teasing. I'm only teasing. Well, actually, I am being guided back to doing some of the work that I was doing several years back before the
Mm.
books came in, where I
Mm.
was coaching people on how to find their full soul purpose. Because
Okay.
a lot of us think it's a career, it's a job, it's a vocation, and that's not what it really is. And it does come from a higher realm of your spirit. And so when I was in Peru, when I came back, or Hawaii. I'm sorry, Hawaii. I forget sometimes where I go. When I was in Hawaii and I came back, I was channeling messages from the Hawaiian words. And they
Mm.
taught us that it has a meaning, a multiple meaning, just like our language, but it has hidden meanings. And
Mm.
those hidden meanings is those onion layers that actually show us the deeper levels we have to go in. So I started listening and writing this down. And the gal that used to do a lot of my graphic work and as an artist, she goes, "Oh, that's beautiful. You should make some greeting cards." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I've learned to say yes, Gloria. I've learned to say yes, even if it's out of my comfort zone. Okay. So then as soon as I said yes, more messages came, and I called her up, and I'm like, "Oh my God." She goes, "You need to make like cards, like tarot cards." And I went,
Mm.
okay, yes. And so the box was these beautiful cards with the painting that
Mm.
to me when I was in Hawaii with the goddess Pele.
Okay.
I never painted anything like this in my life, and she wouldn't let me go back to sleep unless I painted her. And this is a very large painting. Then all the messages that came through in the Hawaiian language, there was a more succinct message for each person, and every card is different, every single one. So I thought, okay, well, they're really beautiful, and what do I do with them now? I didn't really know. Okay, so I thought, oh, okay, so I can gift somebody when I'm doing a healing session. Maybe people want to figure out what to do with them. But then a few months later, when I opened up to another level and I actually asked, this is what I do now. What do you expect of me? What do you want of me? How do I? So I was shown how to actually do like a soul purpose consultation, which is connecting with your higher wisdom. Some people call it the Akashic records. I'm not attached to words because the messages truly come in from the purest state that I have ever experienced. And it's helping people, Gloria, to really understand their lesson in life, the multiple layers of the lesson. And so, even though I did my own soul purpose reading over 15 years ago, I always go back to that one because every stage of me being turned again, I say, okay, what do I need to learn now?
Mm.
What do I need to learn now? And so we, as you know, we're always evolving. And so when people can understand, you don't just get a reading like a regular reading and that's it. But like people
Yeah.
say, could I have another one? No, this is kind of the beginning of your roadmap. And the second card, because there's three, is your evolution process. So the more that you're working on yourself, this is what is going to show up and we'll go deeper. And the last one is actually your true purpose.
Mm.
And mine makes sense. It really does make sense because it's a card called Pono, and a lot of people are familiar with that word in Ho'oponopono.
Right.
And Pono is not only to make things right, but it's the truth. And it's the truth seeker, and it's truth on all these levels, but it's spiritual truth. And so when I'm living from that place, which isn't always easy in this world, by the way, I am in alignment and nothing else matters. And for example, Gloria, the last few years, I mean, you take a look at what happened in our world, and there was a lot of fear. I was in my spiritual truth. There was no fear. Now, some people didn't like what I had to say, but you know what? It worked.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just feeling so love. I guess I was just feeling just like so much love while you were talking, and just I'm you always amaze me, and I love those cards. They're so beautiful, and it's just it's a pleasure to see how you are so willing to just to really to have that faith, and it's not failing you, and it's just it's leading you to different ways of, as you say, of helping people, which I think is great.
Yeah.
uh, and I love that you're now going to help people with this. So
Yeah, we're gonna do it again, and I've always
yeah,
been doing it. It's just that
yeah,
there's gonna be more
it's going to look
messages are coming through. There's actually a whole coaching program
right.
that goes with that after that, but I'm getting more evolution as a
Mhm.
result. And
Yeah.
even with working, like, with some of these authors that you saw the book that recently won this one, right?
Mhm.
Even working with them and, each one had a story, but what happened was their purpose came through because that's what I hear. Help them
Mm.
do this, pull this out, ask them this question. So it's just, again, it's all part of my evolution to live in that space of truth.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you this: if someone listening to this is wanting to figure out their soul purpose, short of making an appointment and scheduling it with you, which I'm sure, we'll talk about that at the end, give you an opportunity for people to connect with you. But is there anything that you can help them with right now? What is some, maybe
Absolutely.
some first steps that they could take?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, pay attention. Pay attention because all your life you probably had certain feelings, synchronicities, coincidences, right, happen in your life. But because you don't believe truly in yourself 1000%, okay, and trust that faith, you think, if I do that, I don't know if it's going to work out. So you have all these doubts and these fears, these indoctrinations from wherever they came from. that has never been part of my paradigm, thank goodness. And when I fell into it a little bit, because someone said, oh, and has to do with a book, actually, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't publish that, and then all those triggers come up, Gloria, right? But when you're paying attention, you could be on Facebook, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I just said that, right? Or I needed to hear that message. So what I usually hear from people, well, when it's in divine timing is in the moment. If you're hearing this right now, this is divine timing. It's not when you decide 6 months from now, I'm going to do this. Okay. And that's what I find that a lot of people do. They plan things out, right? They have their reasons, excuses, whatever. But divine timing is now. If you get off this podcast and all of a sudden something is very similar, that's it. So when we're looking for our soul purpose, pay attention to these signs. They are with you from the moment you come into this world. You know, like my mother said, do you wear a sign? Literally use that word. Do you wear a sign to help everybody? Well, I came in with that. And so did you. And so did other people. But then we think, oh, I have to get married, or I have to have a job, or I'm going to go to this profession. And it doesn't mean that's not part of your journey, but it's not the purpose you were put here. And like you, Gloria, I was going to call you Grace. See, I'm already ready to call you Grace.
Mhm.
You have underneath your name the light messenger. That is our purpose. How does our light message come through in anything we do? But
Mhm.
most people get caught up in their jobs, right? They're home,
Yeah.
they're exhausted. Sometimes they're single parents, they're more exhausted. They don't even take time to do a retreat or go away for a weekend or even get out in nature because time took over, not purpose.
Yeah. And as I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned as well, is that the only time that really matters is right now, because if we try to, if you wait too long, then something might happen and that just totally throws a wrench in it. And it's, or, time is precious. It really is. And life is precious. And if you are out there having some sort of, feeling that you want to do something, but you're not sure, really take some time to ponder it a bit, pray over it, meditate over it, whatever, journal about it.
And
And
feel it deep
yeah.
inside, because if you're only in the linear mind, you're going
Mhm.
to come up with all the different reasons. So
Absolutely.
meditation, prayer is all wonderful, but make sure you're listening to where it guides you. And if you find the linear mind is stopping you, what I teach people, Gloria, is to flip that switch.
Mm.
Imagine governing your life, every aspect of your life, from the soul voice, not from this voice.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
takes a lot of training. And there's times
Mhm.
I still have to say, flip the switch.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, and it's I will say too, or at least it's been from my experience, I believe, is that the more you do it, the easier it becomes. It's like you
Absolutely.
you do start, because you will start to see results and you'll be like, okay, I don't know why this is happening, but I'm going to do it, and just and
Nursing
it's
thing
like it
important.
must be a good, if it's this seems like a good idea, I'm going to check into it and get it done. And
You do a 180 in this last year, and look at
yeah.
what it's doing for you and for others. Like you're like in that groove now,
Mhm.
not what you thought you were supposed to do to make a living,
Right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I really pay attention. I'll get these hits when I meditate, and ideas will pop into my mind, and then I just start, okay, let me see. Let me see if I can, what can I do with this? And wonderful things happen when that
And one of the
happens.
things that we can do to answer your question is don't wait to meditate or pray. Make this part of your awareness
Mm.
that you don't have to stop to get the message,
Well,
that you can
right.
pay
Yeah.
attention to everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's
Yeah,
always
absolutely. Yeah.
there.
Um, let's see what I want to ask you. Oh, I know what I want to ask you. I like to ask this once in a while of my guests, and especially because you are just this wonderful woman who rolls with the ideas that come through. But are there any experiences, perhaps, that you have not done yet that you would like to do in your future?
It's a good question because I've done a lot. I have done a lot. Matter of fact, in this book, if you read it, I've done a lot. And people have even said to me, that stuff doesn't happen. Well, yes, it does, because this is based off my life, but put in a fiction form. Um, I didn't ever thought I'd write fiction. So that's something new. I've always done nonfiction.
Yeah.
But then I had somebody try to stop me, Gloria. And that's probably where I had to really go inside recently and say, am I really going to do this?
Yeah.
Because I was annihilated, to put it nicely, that it shouldn't go out. This is a 3-time award-winning book now, and the
Yeah.
cover as well.
And
And
and and f just I just wanna interrupt you for 1 second, so because there will be people listening to this, so they can't see it, so can you tell
so
tell
it's
us
too
just
many.
briefly what the name of the book is and what it's
It's
about?
Too Many Goodbyes, a novel of adventure and love, but it's actually written on multi levels of consciousness. Okay. So some people will read it and they'll just see the journey. Oh, she's traveling here and there. Other people will take the messages, the spiritual journey she has, the guidance from her grandmother, and they will get it. And other people will go further and see all the breadcrumbs that were implanted in there. So there's a lot of levels of this. So to answer your question, it's like, I I really did. This is one of the most recent stretches that were. It was fun to do until I was told in the final hour, don't publish that crap. Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
And I cried for 3 days, and people around me that knew me and were part of this process are like, "Don't listen to that, go." But then God said to me, and this is what happens when we take new risk, at least for me, God said to me, "Go back to the beginning of your book, Gloria, and Too Many Goodbyes, and Lexi, the main character, which is me, has a message for you." Well, Lexi was brought up by a very strict dad and, a Catholic Italian guy, and he always demanded perfection. Like, you can get an A in school and it's not good enough. Is it no wonder that I keep like doing all these things, right? So if I get an A plus, it still wasn't good enough because I should get bonus points. So I'm reading this and I'm going, oh my God, this is what this person is triggering me. So I did. I went into prayer. I went into silence. I listened to the signs. I listened to Lexi. And then 3 days later, I hit that publish button because I asked myself 2 questions. If I give up, what does that say about me? If I publish it and nobody likes it, am I going to care? Well, of course I'm going to care. But what came out of that, Gloria, was a speaking engagement in front of 65 students that volunteered to come learn from Lexi about bullying, about having parental issues, about growing up in this world and taking chances. Then I got notification from the local library to come and speak and then do classes. And now I got invited to speak at their conference. And all of these doorways are open because I didn't listen to one person. I listened to God.
Oh, yeah. So glad you did. It it's like I said, it's just been wonderful to watch that evolution that you've been on and with that, and I'm so glad you did that because it is, um, not I was gonna say it can be easy to get just distracted, but it's not that. I think it's if if we have, some doubts about us, and it could be something even from that again, you were kind of going back to, when you were a kid and with your dad, so it could be something that you probably not thought about for years, and then all of a sudden,
I did a lot of therapy
something.
on that too. So it was surprising. It
Yeah.
went forward, went all the way down to the tailbone. It wasn't in my head anymore. It wasn't in my heart. It
Mhm.
was all the way stored down there. So when you asked, is there something else?
Yeah.
Again, I wait for the message.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
wait for the message because, yes, I like to travel and I can go to different places, but that's not the same as living your purpose and finding
yeah.
out what goes up next.
Absolutely. What are you curious about right now?
Right now, what am I curious about right now? Gosh, I'm always curious, Gloria. It's my nature to be curious about everything. I am curious where God's going to lead me next to the next level because a lot of the things are coming back to surface that may have been put on a shelf literally for a while. And I know when I do that, then it takes me to another level. So I am curious where God is directing me next. There is one thing that has happened in the last few months. As I said, I help people, I've been health coaching people. And so there has been, you've been following me, Gloria, there has been a quantum light healing, what do you call it, company that came into my life. And so I'm curious now where all this is taking me, because I'm watching people heal. And here's something else that God said to me. You're going to love this. I wasn't going to share it with anybody, Gloria. And you know what I heard? Who are you to deny others of the healing that I brought to this world? So this has been, recent. And I'm sitting there going, okay, what's next? That's
Yeah,
how my life rolls. It's not,
I
and it's
know.
not something that sometimes I think I'm going to do.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fun journey, though. It is. It's really is. It's. I like that you were saying that. Okay, yeah. What next? Because that's it. And life can be boring, and when you
Not mine.
can. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, why have it be boring when you can instead put your faith in your higher power to lead you on some amazing journeys. And I really do think it makes life so much richer that way when you do that. Really,
And you
it
know what I
really
am
does.
curious about? Okay, I'll share it with you because I had my human design done again, where you
Ah,
tuned into the manifesting generator. I've had some other people in the world, very intuitive, highly, connected. 5 of them have said that I will be aligning and attracting a partner for my life. I've been single for 15
mm,
years, and I am curious who's coming.
okay, nice.
Who's
Well,
coming? Yeah.
we will wait and see,
We
see
will
what
wait and
happens.
see, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's not something that I say I have to have. Would it be
right.
nice? Yes.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, so,
Yeah,
and single's been good for me, you know?
sounds
But,
good.
it's like, okay, people are tuning into this, and there's some things that I'm noticing
Hmm.
around me, and I'm just like, well, that's interesting. Like I was just traveling a little bit, and normally, I'm so focused on like where I'm going that maybe I don't pay attention to the males out there. And all of a sudden, it's like all these males start talking to me, and I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting? Well, obviously, I have opened a doorway,
Yep.
and they're seeing me.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. So cool.
yeah.
Is there anything else that I should have asked you, but I didn't, or any other last minute advice you'd like to give to anyone out there?
I just wish, hope, and pray for every single person out there that you live in that moment to truly connect and not wait. Like you saying, time is
Mhm.
precious. Gloria, I have lost practically every close person, not my sisters and my kids. Thank God. Please keep them here a little longer. Brothers, parents. My mother died when I was 18. My
Mm.
brothers died very young. My husband died in his 40s. You don't know these things are going to happen, and you wait. Maybe you're waiting to take my retreat in Italy this year, right? Maybe you're waiting to write a book. Maybe you're waiting to change jobs. Maybe you're waiting for whatever. Okay. Don't wait. Do not wait. You said it before. The time is now, Gloria. So even if you and I, like we connected here today, why did we connect today? I'm looking at the date up here. 3, 1, 3, 2, 3. There's a lot of threes in there. And
Mhm.
threes are about communication. And that's what we're doing, about speaking the truth. And right now it's 3, 3, 3.
I kn I know, I was noticing that. That's how long we've been recording
Okay.
already.
So when I pay attention to this stuff, it's saying, see, you spoke your spiritual truth. The
Mhm.
signs are there. And those that are listening, hopefully it is resonating in your heart and soul. Oh, I just got chills right now to do something that you're being guided to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, if someone is guided to reach out to you today, what are the best places for them to find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You've got my website down there. My email is actually my name, Gloria at gloriacoppola.com, because I don't want to forget myself either, you know? But yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm all over the place, literally. So I would love to chat with whoever decides that this feels right for them. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to come to Italy with me and open up your creativity this summer. Maybe you just want to say hello. Maybe you want to do a session for a soul purpose consultation. And maybe you're just looking for a friend. Or maybe you're that man out there.
That's right. I do have some men listening to the show from time to time, so he might be out there.
You never know. And so
Yeah.
I would have never done that originally. Never would have done something like that. But I just heard that. Just say it, Gloria. Put it out there.
That's
And
right.
that's the thing. You have to put it out there in order for it to come to you.
Absolutely. Oh, cool. I have enjoyed this so much. I love talking with you. You are a delight and a light in the world, and just keep shining it and keep helping people. That's what you're absolutely
You,
wonderful at. So keep it up.
thank
And
you.
yeah, so thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
And I want to thank all of you for watching and for listening as well. And I make sure, if you weren't subscribed already, if you're somebody new and if you did enjoy this today, make sure you're subscribed on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe on YouTube at Gloria Grace Rand. And until next time, as always, I encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.